So the film begins with a little girl pointing to her sitting comfortably watching cartoons on TV. Then suddenly the TV signal goes off, an emergency report starts appearing on the screen, in which it is said that a very dangerous virus has spread all over the world. This was not a common virus, but a dangerous infection, which could turn humans into bloodthirsty animals in a matter of minutes. Scientists had predicted that this virus would spread throughout the world in a short time, so everyone should protect themselves. We are shown that the mother of these children was also very nervous. She talks on the phone with her husband, who is a pilot. He says the situation has gone out of control. The infected people, now called ferals, they are spreading everywhere. These ferals have become zombie-like creatures, but they are much faster and stronger than zombies, and can even think. These ferals have also captured many cities and areas, and right now, the area where these people were was the most dangerous. The pilot tells his wife that you must leave this society immediately. Before making the call, that pilot, to cheer up his daughter Abigail, he shows her the bracelet that Abigail made it for his dad himself. He promises, I will always wear this bracelet. I will keep it with me and will reach you all soon. These people will come on their own. They come out to save him. But the scene outside is very scary. The sirenas were escaping. People were screaming and the ferals were running around, running back to their cars. But then, on the way, a feral attacks their mother. In the blink of an eye, Abigail's mom was now becoming a feral before her eyes. Abigail panics and hides under the car. From under the car, she sees the same feral who attacked her mom earlier. He also attacked his brother and infected him too. Had done it, and Abigail was deeply saddened by this. But she remained silent because she knew that if she made any noise, the feral would attack her too. Feral doesn't notice Abigail hiding under the car and drives off. Abigail thinks she's saved her life, but now her own mother, who has become a feral, she spots Abigail and lunges at her to kill her. The sound of a gunshot is heard. Abigail sees her mom fall down as a man shoots her. It was Cassius who lovingly pulled Abigail out from under the car. He picks her up in his arms and loves her. At this point, he notices Abigail's gaze fixed on a small child. He realizes that this is Abigail's brother and is now becoming feral. Cassius tells Abigail to put her hands over her ears, and then he also kills his brother permanently by shooting him in the head. Only a few minutes had passed, and Abigail's world had changed. Her entire family was gone, and from that day forward, Cassius became her family. He became his teacher and also his protector. Well, now 10 years have passed in the movie. The world has completely changed, and there is only silence everywhere. Most humans have either died or become ferals. Cassius and Abigail are surviving in the wilderness. Because the city is full of ferals, Abigail is no longer the scared little girl she was. She has become a warrior because Cassius Saklasti has given her rigorous training in fighting to hunt and survive. This time also we see him practicing in the jungle, and then they spot a survivor trying to escape the ferals. Cesus says, Atepion, a test has come for you. He gives her his sniper and tells her to save this man and kill all the other fellows. Abigail sits down, and before taking aim, Gestes says to her, relax, take a deep breath, target your target, and then pull the trigger. Abigail does all of this, but in her haste to prove herself, she sees the target, but it does not notice that while being a target, he was also a human being. When Abigail fires the shot, it hits the survivor instead of Pharrell. This was a huge mistake, especially in a world where humans were so few and far between. In that same world, Biggle killed a man. How the true ocean bites and goes there itself, killing zombies from there. It was that this dead man would now come back to life as a feral, so he cuts off her head before she can come back to life. After which, he takes his needs from his car. He starts taking out his things and even puts on his shoes because Cascus's own shoes were very worn out. These people are about to leave from here, but suddenly, some vehicles surround them from all sides. There were many human survivors in these vehicles who also had many weapons, how he sees it worn by his dead friend and thinks it must be Cascais. There's a robber, and Cassius killed him for robbing their friend. Now that man, since he was also shot, it clearly meant that instead of a zombie, he was one of these. In anger, all these people would have turned their weapons on Cassius. And then a pregnant woman named Megan comes out of the car to stop all this. She comes and tells everyone to please stop it. She is also one of those survivors like us. There are so many humans left in this world, please leave them before these people. Before they could take any decision, another big problem arose between them. Because of the noise he made, many fairies were attracted, and now they were running away. Zombies came here from the other side. These zombies were so many and were running so fast that these people do not get a chance to escape and run away in their vehicles. They already had weapons, so they used them as their cover. And they decide to fight for their survival using these weapons. A fierce battle ensues, and the group of survivors begins to lose. Despite having so many weapons, they start running out of bullets. But the monsters were not going away. Now many monsters attack this group of survivors and kill them. They also bite and turn into monsters. And the only human survivor here was Cassius Abigail. At the time when Megan and her husband David were busy cutting all these feral survivors and giving them, Megan, David, Abigail, and Cassius were busy infecting the four, taking advantage of the same time. They escape in a car and discover a new group that had transformed into feral. That their leader, who has now become feral, is responsible for all these things happening to him and his group. He is very angry with things and is now determined to take revenge on Cassius. He'll be the one who started it all, so he'll be driving around in that car, smelling the Cassius scent. He starts chasing the car in which they fled, but we see that Casey is far away. He had driven the car till now, and now he asks these people, "Where do you want to go?" These people tell us that we want to go to the colony, also known as Boat Town. This is a colony built over water which has been made by joining big ships, and here, but all the children and little humans are living. There are doctors here, and all kinds of facilities are also available. Hearing all this, Abigail's eyes light up, because she had been dreaming of living with humans for a long time. At first, Cassius is not aware of this, that a community of humans even existed. He says, "I have been wandering here and there for many years. I have never seen such a community or society." Megan tells him that we've had contact with people from that community many times. Hearing this, Cassius agrees, but he himself is not ready to go there, because he feels that being around more people means more danger. But here, Abigail says we'll definitely go there at least once. Even if it's just to leave Megan alone because of her condition, we can't let her go alone. How it was clear from his appearance that he was not ready for this either. Their car suddenly stops on the way, and they find out it's broken down. Vid, who's a mechanic, he tries to fix it but fails due to a lack of tools. Now they had to walk, and while walking they reached an old place which Epicel recognizes. There was an airfield near this place where his dad used to work. She tells everyone that we should head to the airport. Maybe we can find a plane there, and our journey ahead will become easier. Cassidy thinks this idea is very bad, because after 10 years, a plane will fly. He must not have been capable of it. When Abigail insisted, he agreed to go. And after going there, they get to see a very strange thing, that this airflow, there wasn't a single plane inside. Luckily, they found a small plane inside a garage. It is available, but it has deteriorated a bit due to being lying around for 10 years, says David. I can repair it while he was repairing the plane, Abigail and Cass. These people guarding him were repeatedly looking away from their binoculars, and suddenly they discover that a large group of ferals is following them from the front. They were still far away, but at the speed they were running, they would be there in 5 to 10 minutes. These guys come running over here and tell David to hurry up. Meanwhile, Abigail sits in the pilot's seat and she starts remembering things her dad taught her when she was a child. Here he picked up a booklet and read about this plane. It starts, and in the meantime, those zombies break the fence and come here. David and Megan were also now seated inside the plane. After a few attempts, Abigail managed to start the plane's engine. The plane begins to move rapidly forward on the runway. But despite that, these zombies are so fast that they can even catch a moving train. They also try to catch it and damage its wings. At this point, Casey was half inside the plane and half outside, which a zombie was trying to grab and pull out, but he shoots the zombie in the head, knocking it off the plane, and then finally, Abigail flies this plane into the air. Everyone was very happy to see the plane dove. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief because these people were about to cover a long journey in just a few hours. But their happiness does not last long. After flying for an hour, smoke started coming out of this plane. Because the engine was very old and had not been serviced, within a short time, the plane's engine fails completely, and the plane goes out of control. To save his life, Cassius accompanies Abigail and takes the plane's lever. He catches it and crashes it into a tree to cause minimal damage. His idea worked too. They suffered some minor injuries, but none of them died. Well, whatever distance he had to cover in this plane, he had covered it. The rest of the journey was to be covered on foot, which would take about 2 more days. These people now decide to spend the night inside the dilapidated buildings here because there weren't any zombies around here. Nevertheless, Cassius had also set traps all around here. After which, when he comes inside, Miakin comes and thanks him and says, "If it weren't for you, we would be dead by now." Hearing this, Cassius starts to melt a little, who was always very strict. Seeing Megan, he remembers his past and tells her about it. "That I killed my wife first, and that too out of compulsion because she was affected and I had no other way to save myself." From that day onwards, he swore that he would not fight for anyone. He will work only for his survival. But then he found Abigail and changed his mind. He then took Abigail as his companion and raised her as his own daughter. He tells her that it's no longer my mission to save anyone except Abigail, but I take responsibility for you and David, and I promise I'll take you to your destination. Well, the next day they start their journey and while walking along the road, a very strange thing is seen. A very nice, clean farmhouse but many things were growing, and there was electricity here. These people are very surprised and try to move towards that farmhouse, but then a voice comes from a speaker saying, "Put down your weapons." These people agree to the man's words and leave their weapons here and go inside. It turns out the owner of this place was a scientist. He was very happy to meet all these survivors and also cooks good food for them. They all started crying while eating this food because after 10 years they were eating such good food. After dinner, these people sit and start talking, and while talking, a very strange thing is that the scientist says that this virus is not a bad thing. Rather, this is human evolution. He believes that this virus has killed all the weak people and the strong ones. Humans have been transformed into ferals, and now these new ferals are the ones who will rule this world, should be taken over, and the remaining raw humans should also die. As he was saying, everyone started feeling dizzy because he had mixed sleeping pills in everyone's drinks, and that's how It turns out the scientist had no good intentions in inviting them all inside. When their eyes open, these people are bound. Here the scientist tells them his reality and says, "I was just experimenting with zombies here." He had also imprisoned his zombie wife here, and he also created a device that allowed him to control not only his wife, but all the zombies. He tells me that I want all humans to die, and all the ferals, that is, turn into zombies so I can control them and rule the world. He frees his now zombie wife and returns to his... Controlling the device, he sends it towards these people to kill them. Everyone panics as she approaches Cassius. Cassius kicks him hard in the leg and pushes him away from himself, and then David uses his strength and breaks the ropes of his... Here we find out a twist. David was getting infected little by little. He even thought of killing himself once. But then he decided that he would first marry his wife. He will take him to a safe place in the same town and then give up his life. He had also decided that if he gets infected during the process, he will kill himself. No one knew this truth about him yet. But the zombie virus had given him strength so far. With that same strength, he now begins to fight this new zombie. These guys finally kill the zombie. And seeing this, the scientist runs away in fear. These people take advantage of the opportunity. They gather their weapons and supplies and leave using the scientist's truck. Despite their escape, the scientist did not give up. He wanted to kill them at any cost. So while using their device, puts a lot of zombies behind their car. Here, these people also find the road ahead blocked, and they have no other option. Except these people get out of the car and start running. There are a lot of zombies behind them. David had also realized that he was about to become completely infected. This is because the veins in his stomach had also become empty, and his condition was also getting worse. Here he meets his wife and says his last goodbye to her, i.e. Megan. She didn't want to leave him, but then he tells Megan that I am doing all this because of our baby. Saying that he is doing this for the children, he sends her away with Cassie's, and he himself goes to the children's house. Starts fighting zombies. The zombies don't chase the 3 survivors. They are able to do so, and thus they reach the riverbank. Luckily, the town where Gunn was to arrive was built within this water. Abigail immediately goes and requests help, and upon seeing them, they take cover and attack the monsters, following them from a distance. After which, a boat was arranged to take these people inside the colony is sent, and finally these people get away from the zombies. It turns out that these zombies, these ferals, couldn't get underwater. Now we are shown a scene from the colony. As I mentioned earlier, this colony was built by joining large ships. Seeing this, all these people were very surprised. Abigail was very happy because she was meeting another person after many years. He was having a lot of fun here, Megan, whose condition had worsened by this time. He too had received medical facilities here, and it turns out he has a daughter. But sadly, it is also known that Megan will not live much longer. She cannot survive because she is suffering from severe blood loss, and no one here can give her blood. A party is held here to celebrate the arrival of new arrivals that very night, and Abigail, who had been away from all of this for a very long time, he's having a lot of fun, but somehow everyone alerts him that we should leave. But Abigail doesn't want to leave, so they argue. While wandering, Abigail reaches a secret room, where a lot of explosives were planted and a big remote was also hanging here. Before she touched it, a boy comes and stops him and tells him that this is our plan B if anyone attacks this colony. If Parallel's also attacked, he told us that we all should go through the tunnel below. We will escape from here and blow up this colony with bombs to kill all those zombies. Those who came here should be killed. That boy is anyway giving all this information to Abigail. He did not know that he would need it now, because that mad scientist was now using his device. He brought a lot of zombies here, using his alpha feral. This was the same feral who was the leader of the first survivor group he met, and his group wanted to avenge Cassiat. As soon as Alpha was in control, all the ferals listened to him. People start believing that when Alpha Feral jumps into the water without any fear, the other zombies also jump into the water. They eliminate the fear of and jump into the water and swim to reach its immunity. Immunity has loud alarms. All humans start escaping, secreting the leaf. A commotion breaks out in the colony, and some ferals start running towards the door. So they attack humans and start causing trouble. Even in this chaos, Abigail first, he searches for and finds Abigail, but this time they realize that they are very far from the Cape Tunnel. During this whole fight, the scientist also comes to the case. He felt like he had become the new god just by creating this device. Cassius was so enraged by the sight of him that he threw a volley of arrows at him. He attacked her and smashed her device against the wall outside, killing her. Due to which his device got broken, the signal got lost, and now the zombies are attacking him, whereas Cassius ran away from here to save his life. Moving forward, Cassius learns that Megan is now dead, but now he had a daughter who was alive. Before dying, Megan leaves Cassius with the responsibility to do as you did with Abigail. You have raised and trained her, you should train my daughter in the same way. Here it is shown that all the survivors came out of that tunnel and reached a safe place. At this time, that remote control was in the hands of the same girl who had become Abigail's friend. He sees that Abigail and her uncle haven't yet come out of the tunnel, so he waits and doesn't destroy the Contrani until Abigail comes in. Abigail here, who was fighting all the zombies, when Alpha Zombie appears in front of him, he is unable to save himself from it. She finds it because she saw a bracelet on the Alpha Zombie's hand. It was the same bracelet she had made as a child and given to her dad. That means this Alpha Zombie was his dad. He didn't know what to do. This zombie was about to eat him. But Cassius arrives just in time to save him. Seeing this, She came to her senses and wanted to save Cassius, but it wasn't easy for him to kill his dad for 1 minute. But then he realized that this time, it was a zombie. The human is not his dad, Cassius is his dad. So he shot the zombie in the head and saved Cassius. After killing her dad, Abigail went into a trance for a while, but Cascais quickly pulls Abigail away and heads towards the tunnel. As soon as these people come out, the boy presses the button to destroy the colony. It takes just a few seconds, and this colony is completely destroyed, and all the zombies that came here also burn to ashes. The survivors were on the other side of the river at this time, and now they could see a small island on the other side. This island was a hope for them, and these people lived on it. They decide to establish a new colony on the island. By this time, Gamesius had also changed his mind, because now, just like the others, he had lost his life. He also understood that people are not a threat, but a strength. He too now decides to stay with them for Abigail and this little girl. He does it. And these people leave for that island from which people will build their new home, and it will always be protected from zombies and flares. And just like this, showing all this, the movie ends here.